Hello, hello. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Vintage Revival Design Co. And my name is Michelle Adamas, if it's your first time here. I'm just a minute early. Today we changed from Thursday because usually we do this on Wednesdays, but we needed to. We just had like all kinds of life happening here, so today worked out great. And so I'm hoping you can join me. If you pop on here, please say hello. Let me know where you're watching from. I'd appreciate that. I always love to see your names up in the comments. So we are going to be working on just a simple, easy little holiday decor project. We don't often think of black as being a holiday, like a Christmas holiday color, but it can be a very neutral way to add a little bit of decor to your home. So hi, Karen. Thanks so much for saying hello. So this is a great project for working with your wood scraps. I'm not using a wood scrap. I'm going to be working with a little, this is about a 3x5 little wooden art panel. This is by IOD, but you can get these at Hobby Lobby. You can get them just about anywhere. And so the first thing that I did was I painted it white on both sides. So if you were working with a wood block, you would want to go ahead and, paint all sides, top, bottom, all of that. And if you are working with these art panels, what can happen is that it'll raise the grain a little bit. So this is pretty rough now. It was very, very smooth when it started, but it raises the grain because you're adding moisture to the wood. So the first thing that I want to do is just take a little bit of sandpaper and I'm just going to sand this smooth. And just kind of wipe that back, because the next thing that I want to do is, this is fine, but I want to add a little bit of something to it. Deborah and Dawn, hello. Thank you so much for saying hello and for being here. So I thought I wanted to add a little something to it, and I had a couple of ideas. I could use my crackle stamp, but I decided to use a piece from the IOD Barnwood Planks stamp set. And so I am going to use stone gray for this. We're going to actually be stamping an image in black, but now before you get horrified, just know we're going to take care and make this subtle. But I just wanted to give that white background. You know how I am about plain backgrounds. I don't really love them. But I'm going to go ahead and just ink this up. And then just to make it easy on myself, I'm going to lift this up and hold it. This is just the backing that it came on. Actually, yeah, I'll go ahead and do that. So I'm going to go ahead and just lay this on top like this. Try not to shift. And I'm going to just gently stamp that image on there. Okay. Now, there's a whole lot of contrast in this right now, but we're going to take care of that. So I want to do all sides of it as well. And so how I'm going to do this is I'm just going to pick up my panel and I'm going to press it on to my stamp just like that. And I'm going to go on all sides. So we're just stamping all the way around so that it is truly a wood block here. And I've got one more, and I think I've got enough ink for that. Okay, yeah. So now we've got this pattern on all of the facing sides that you would see. This is basically going to end up being like a little shelf sitter. So I want to go ahead and dry this ink before I go on to the next step. So the next step for us is that we're going to be just softening these lines a little bit. And I want to just dry this ink. It does take a little bit. And I just used a white matte paint for this. Dry this up a little bit. Okay. And then to soften it, what I want to do is I have some white paint, just any old white paint will do. It's the same color that I used for the rest of it. And what I want to do is then I'm going to just take this and we're going to soften up these planks by just brushing on some paint here, just some white paint. You want to make sure that your ink is dry before you do this. Otherwise, you're just going to smear your ink, and I'm sure I'm going to end up doing a little bit of smearing here. Okay, and so we'll go on all sides. And now what you can see is that we've really softened up that plank, but we still have that detail in the background. So I really like that, and it gives the whole thing a lot more interest. So I'll do this side here. And then this is going to dry, but I went ahead and did one in advance. So I've got one dry and ready to go for us. Okay, so this is what it ended up looking like. Now, I ended up doing 2 coats of like a white over my stamping of the barnwood plank on this one. And so that actually really softened it up, but you can see it's just got that pretty little detail, and it has more interest than just like a flat background. Okay. The next thing that I want to do is I chose a couple of little stamps from the Merry and Bright stamp set by IOD. This is just a little deer head and then just a little Merry Christmas greeting. And what I want to do is I'm going to stamp that, but I'm going to stamp it in black actually. And I'm going to do it down here because we're going to do something up here at the top. So I'm just going to go ahead and ink up my little deer here. I re-inked my pads, so hopefully we're going to get some really good image, but I want to make sure it's gotten a lot of nice ink on it. And then I've got it attached to my thin mount. You've seen those before. And I'm going to just kind of center it. But again, I want to come towards the bottom of it. And I'm going to put this in place and then using my fingers, trying not to shift. Not shifting is, we say that out loud all the time because it's almost like a little prayer. Please don't let it shift. Please don't let it shift. Okay. And I think, there we go. So now we have our image here, just like this. And it just says Merry Christmas, and it's got the little deer head. And I'm going to go ahead and dry that ink up a little bit before we do the final steps. And you can see this is just such a super quick and easy little project that you could do. They are very easy to clean. You can use a baby wipe if you're like doing lots of projects at once, or just a little soap and water. I keep an old toothbrush under the sink so that I can, just like a soft old toothbrush that I can use to get in all of the details because the stamps are so detailed. So they're super, super easy to clean. And if you get a little staining on your stamps, also, it's not a problem either, Karen. All right, I'm going to kind of touch him. He's a little damp, but I think we're going to be okay. All right, so for the next steps, what I want to just kind of get him out of the way. So let me make some room here. The next steps, what we're going to be using is we're going to be using a little bit of twine. This is black and white. It's like a heavy duty baker's twine. I have a little jingle bell, and then I have some of my favorite ribbon. I get this ribbon every year. I get it in the red and the white and the black and the white. And then I've got a little bit of my glue gun is heated up because I want to go ahead and make sure that this is super secure, especially since I'm working on this. Hi, Cindy. Thanks for saying hello. And so I'm just going to cut a little bit of ribbon here. I'm going to want to be able to tie it. So I'm just going to kind of get a length here. Let me get my scissors. That was the one thing that I forgot. And I'm just going to go ahead and cut a length here and hope that I got it enough. Okay. What I want to do is make sure that I have this centered on here, because then to keep it super secure, what I'm going to do, I'm going to hold it in place here. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this over, and I'm going to just put a little dot of hot glue on each of the borders right here. And that's just going to hold the ribbon in place for us, especially when I go to tie it. So oops, I shifted a little bit, but I'm going to push that down just like that. I might even move it up a little bit while I can. Okay. And then I'm going to do the same on the other side, and I can pull that tight. This one I forgot to paint the back of. So I guess this one will be for me, but I'll show you another one that I did with a stencil, and you can see how that works out. So I'm pulling this tight, and I can because it's got the glue gun in there, and just setting it down like that. And so now that the ribbon's in place, I'm just going to tie this up at the top. Kind of holding that down. Okay, we're gonna just do it like that. And then I'm gonna shorten my tails a little bit here. I save these to like use like a little staple, like on a card or something like that. So I have like a bag of little ribbon scraps that I use. And so now what I want to do is I want to take my twine. I'm not going to need a lot for this. And I'm going to thread this through my jingle bell here. You know that I always have a problem with this, but this time it went really easy. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to tie this jingle bell right here. And I would also have sealed this one. I'm missing all the steps today, but I would have sealed this first. So this one is going to be for us. How's that? Since I'm blowing it on the live, I'm going to do it this way. And then I'm just going to make those a little shorter. Okay. And then there you have it. It's just a simple little thing that you can do with a wood block. You can move this over, but it's just easy. And it just takes a few little supplies to do this. And then I'll show you one that I did with a little stencil. So I did this one with a little stencil. This one is sealed and painted on the back. So I got all the steps right on that one. But just super quick, super cute, and neutral. So if you're not sure how someone decorates, neutral is, you know, obviously a safe option. And it just took us just a few minutes to do. It would have taken us a little longer had we dried the paint and done the second coat. But that's what I've got. So there you go. And yeah, that's it. That's what I've got for you today. So anyway, I'm all about the quick little projects, and I hope you are too. I hope you're creating. Thank you to everybody who's been sharing pictures with me of the things that you've been creating. It just makes me so happy to see that you're creating and that you are enjoying it enough to share with me. I really appreciate it. And so thank you, Dawn. So anyway, everybody, I hope wherever you are, you're doing well. I will see you next week. Can you believe next week is Thanksgiving? I can hardly believe it. And I'm excited. Our son and daughter-in-law are coming, so we will all be together, which always makes me super happy. And we'll be cooking and, you know, doing all the things. So have the best day, everybody. And you are so welcome, Cindy. And you take care as well. I will see you all next week. Take care. All right. Bye-bye.